So what kind of content do you create that can really attract paying clients if you don't have any social proof?
That me though. That me though. I ain't got no problem with what you do. I'ma do me though. Yeah. I like chains on top of my chains for real, but that's me though.
Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Flemming Jr. and today I want to address a question that someone sent. They emailed and they asked, what do you do if you are marketing a business but you don't have any social proof? You don't have any social proof, you don't have any testimonials, you don't have any reviews. You know, social proof is one of the key things that I use to help grow my publishing company. In fact, one of the things, the only thing that I used to market online was social proof. I would just show the different books that I published and just show the work, showcase the work that I did, and that would attract new business to me. I had people to write me and say, you know what, I just want to go through you to get my book published because I saw how you designed that person's book. I saw how you put that person's book together. Oh my God, this person was ranting and raving about how you wrote their book and edited their book and did this and that. You know, can you help me with mine? So social proof is very important, very important. But what if you don't have any social proof to demonstrate or to use to share with anyone else, especially online when you're trying to market your business? But I don't have any testimonials or reviews. That can be very frustrating. Very frustrating. I need to get clients in order to get testimonials, but I can't get clients if I don't have testimonials. It's like a vicious loop. Like, come on, you know, give me a break. What am I supposed to do? Well, here's and I'm going to share with you a very simple strategy on what to do if you don't have any social proof. What kind of content do you need to create if you don't have any social proof? And also, how do you get that social proof? If you don't have anybody, how do you actually land your first client so that you can have someone that can vouch for you? So the first thing is, if you're creating content, you're creating videos, you're doing YouTube, you're doing Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, and you don't have any other clients that you can boast and brag about, because, you know, most people, they're going to search up and look and see who else is going through your program or who has worked with you before they decide to work with you. Or if you're on social media, you're on YouTube and you're talking, you know, people oftentimes want to hear, you know, who else have you helped? Who else have you helped? You know, and that kind of helps to make them to make a decision whether or not they're going to work with you. But if you don't have any of that stuff, you don't have any social proof, and you're trying to do videos, this one statement works beautifully. Every one of your videos should start with these words: how I. Plain and simple. How I took a $15 book and turned it into a six-figure digital empire. How I escaped the cycle of abuse and regained my sense of self and my confidence, and went on and began to build a prosperous life. How I found love at the age of 50 after being divorced, after having my heart ravished and devastated, and feeling as if I would never ever find love again. How I built a business from scratch with no help from anyone else and without bank loans. How I got a loan with bad credit. How I. All of your videos need to start with how I, not how you, because when you say how you, it almost sounds like you're preaching to the person, like you're this big guru and you're gonna share all of this super wonderful knowledge and information about, how, and then that's when people kind of get it in their mind, like, okay, you're trying to tell me, who else have you helped? But look, if you don't have any social proof, guess what? You are your social proof. You are. So your videos, your content needs to be how I overcame this, how I discovered, how I built this, how I improved my marriage, how I found love at such and such age. And there's a science behind making videos, because the headline, the title is the most important part. That's no different than writing a book. The title of the book is the most important part. That's the thing that draws people to the book, that and the cover art. So you want to make sure that you have the right titles for your videos. How I discovered, how I, and not saying that every video should just be how I, because you can do videos like 3 signs that you're dating a narcissist, or 3 red flags to look out for. And then when you go into explaining your content, you're sharing your testimony or your story about, okay, I was dating this person and I saw these 3 red flags and that was a no-no for me right then and there. I got up out of there, So, but you want to use you as the social proof. You want to use you as the social proof in that situation. And that's a great way for you to title your videos. That's a great way for you to come up with content, because you can talk about your journey for days and different aspects of your journey. If you don't have anyone else that you can talk about yours. Talk about your journey. Now, the last question is, well, how do I actually find the customers so that I can get that social proof? I'll use my journey, my personal testimony. My first client was not some other random person. No, my first client, and by the way, this client never did pay their invoice. They still have an outstanding balance, and it's been well over a decade for me, but they, I always bring it up and they just ignore me and shoo me off. But my first client was my wife. And so I sat down and Ghost wrote her first book, Purpose Seekers, and we sat down and just kind of came up with what the talking points and kind of went through and built it out. And after writing her book, others that read her book came along and were like, wow, I love what you did with your wife's book. Can you do that for mine? And then I got my first client as a result of doing work for my wife, writing her book. And then someone that read hers was like, I need to tell my story. Can you help me? Then that was my first paying client. Then I finished that person's book. Then a friend of theirs, hey, I love what you did with their book. Can you do mine? And then I'm working on their book. And then a friend of theirs, hey, I love what you did with their book. Can you do mine? And it literally just spiraled and just kept on going. And I looked up and I had so many clients and so much business. It was just ridiculous. But it was all referral, word of mouth. But the key to it is you need to do everything with excellence. So don't ever half step on anything. Don't ever cut corners. Don't try to be average. Always strive to be the best and try to go above and beyond, because people will then brag on your work if it is top notch. They ain't coming to you for your personality. They coming to you because they're trying to get a result. So deliver that result and then watch and see as they begin to tell other people, because there are plenty of other people that are around that need that same service, and those people that you deliver results for will tell others about you. So that's how I ended up getting my first client, so that I could have social proof that I could begin to market and advertise on social media, which then brought in even more business. So I hope that helps. I hope that those 2 tips are definitely something that can help take your game to the next level. Look, if you want to connect and you really want to learn more, I have a free masterclass that I'm offering right now, and the link is in the description of this video below. The masterclass is entitled From Passion to Profit, and I'm sharing with you 3 steps on how to build a scalable and profitable coaching program. And if you have a book, this is perfect for you, because I'm going to show you how to actually 10x your income from your book and turn your book into a digital empire that can bring in tens of thousands of dollars, as my wife and I have both seen in our own program. So I definitely encourage you to go ahead and click on the link in the description below. Sign up, it's free, and I know it's going to bless your socks off. Hope to see you in the next video.